What's good, people? Time for another Magic Man review. Your boy Majik up here with a good one today. This one, this is a really good book. Um, let's get to the introduction. Called The Terrestrials by Tonnies. Now, this book is a small little book. Got some good references in here. Some decent references. It's a very good book because it's a different take on the UFO phenomenon that a lot of different people, with the exception maybe of Jacques Vallée, um, they don't really think about it in the way that Tonnies presents it. Okay, I'm not gonna spend a whole bunch of time trying to tear it apart in my usual contrarian fashion. Um, that's just what I do. That's how I'm wired. Somebody says something to me, and I want to see if it's really true or not. So I'm gonna come with the opposite point of view. This is actually a contrarian book about UFOs, so I was really cool with it. What he's saying about crypto terrestrials is that a lot of the things that are portrayed as extraterrestrials, or what human beings perceive as being extraterrestrials, or even fairies or ghosts, are just manifestations. They're trickery from crypto terrestrials. That these beings are actually on Earth, and they're not as advanced or as clever as we think they are. They're not technologically advanced to the point we think they are. They're actually just kind of playing tricks on humans, and for their own reasons. Nobody knows why. Um, and he gets into different aspects of the UFO phenomenon, like the different types of space aliens. Let's see here. Sometimes they masquerade as flowers. Crazy stuff. The abduction part of the UFO phenomenon, the underwater UFOs. A lot of people don't think about that, but all the underwaters, on all the UFO sightings that come from craft that come up and from the oceans. It's like, oh, they got the undersea bases or something like that, you know. Let me see. Let's take a look at the notes. Some of the things in here, it's just the point of view of the author. He talks a lot about the singularity in here, which is it's materialistic in thought to begin with. It doesn't have a spiritual, or people who think of that singularity is like when man merges with machines, kind of like a Black Mirror type deal, like where we can put our consciousness into a computer chip, which I don't think is possible. But hey, I could be wrong. It'd be nice, you know. I'd love to be, San Juniper back in the '80s, playing my pinball machines, with my long hair back when I had hair. But yeah, he talks about the singularity. He talks a lot about global warming and environmental changes and stuff like that, and how humans are destroying the environment. I don't think I personally don't think the human beings can destroy the environment. Now, we can definitely pollute the hell out of it, and all the stuff with the chemtrails, God knows what they're spraying. Um, yeah, we can really totally screw up the environment and make it bad on ourselves and all the plant life on Earth. But if you've ever been in an airplane and looked out, especially if you're in the United States, if you get on an airplane from either the West Coast to East Coast and just fly over the country, man, there's miles and miles and miles of just forest and trees and deserts and lakes and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sometimes you look down and you see miles and miles and miles of cornfields, and you'll see it's just so much space that people don't live in. So I'm not too worried about it. That's more of a younger person's game. Um, but he mixes it a little bit in there with him. It's cool, everybody's entitled to their opinion. We all bring something to the table. And the thing I liked about this book is it's kind of like the way I see things sometimes. You gotta be open to options. You gotta take a contrarian point of view sometimes and say, well, maybe it's not like how you're presenting it. Maybe you're presenting me a bunch of BS. Who knows? Sometimes, it takes the naysayers. Oh, that can't be done. Humans will never fly. Humans will never travel underneath the ocean. That's witchcraft. You're never going to do that. Hey, guess what? The contrarian, he says, I can do it. I'm going to prove to you I can do it. And here, guess what? And when everybody said, hey, guess what? Man can't fly. We're flying into space these days. They said that couldn't be done either. Man can't fly into space. Got it done. One of the things I want to debunk about here, at the same time, I might be wrong. I might be totally, totally wrong. Is that a lot of the UFO researchers and a lot of the people who want to have disclosure, they say they get pushback because the governments of the world don't want to reveal that there are extraterrestrials out there, because the masses won't be able to understand it. They won't be able to grasp it because of religion or traditional thinking that human beings are, the epitome of creation. Nah. I think most people in the world believe that there are extraterrestrials out there. I mean, it's statistically impossible not to be. I mean, you look at all the stars out there and you think to yourself, you tell me not just one of those stars can produce, like, even bacteria. They can't produce bacteria, or, like, giant insectoids that fly around in flying saucers. There's got to be one or two, even just bacteria. Even the religious people are like, well, God created this whole thing. Why are you putting limitations on God? Who are you to put limitations on God? God could have made other different creatures, Maybe he was bored. Maybe he wanted to have a Dunkin' Donuts on Mars. You don't know. You don't know, man. I can't really badmouth the book and pick it apart because it's really presented as, hey, here's some facts. Here's a different way of looking at things. Once you run with it, once you look up some information and do it yourself. One of the things in here I want to point out that, like, if you read some like Eric Von Daniken or Mauro Biglino, you'll see in here the God was flying around. The God of the Bible, Yahweh, and all his crew has different Elohim. They were flying around, flying saucers too. They were in spaceships. And there's monuments in, like, Mesoamerica. They've got, Mayan, Zapotec, Aztec, monuments where they carved in a space alien. He's not really a space alien. He looks like a Mayan, but he's just flying around in his little starship. He's got the little levers and controls and stuff. So I don't know. It could be like a big giant, trick being played out on those crafty crypto-terrestrials. If you're into UFOs and you've researched UFOs a lot and you want to know and you're just curious, this is a different aspect, that you should really look into. I highly recommend it. It's the Crypto-Terrestrials by Tonnies. Now, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe. Trying to build up the channel, If you don't like it, don't like it. Dislike it. That helps the algorithms too. If you want to get in the comments and talk some trash, go ahead. Let the little fingers just type away, I'm having a good day. It's nice and rainy outside. I love rainy days. Got my coffee. Life is good. Till next time, people.